Everyone, and happy Mother's Day. This is Rebecca with Red True Crime doing a special Mother's Day edition of Red True Crime. So, before I go any further, let me just say thank you for joining me today and happy Mother's Day to all out there. And also, if you've not already subscribed to the channel, please do so because this helps put the cases that I do talk about out there for other people to see because if they know something, then they can help. So generally when I am on here, I am talking about cases that have not been solved or have been solved in a negative way. So I thought today, with it being uh, Mother's Day, I thought we'd talk about the cases that have been solved and with a somewhat happy ending. So, first case I'd like to talk about is the Jan Broberg case. Now, this one has had multiple documentaries done about it, and it's been covered on many true crime channels. Jan Broberg was a girl who her family belonged to the Latter-day Saints church, and she was kidnapped twice by a family friend who was also having a relationship with both of her parents. And it did not go well for her either because they were so brainwashed, they allowed just about anything to happen to her. But fortunately, it did not end her life. So let's get into it. Let's see. Because Jan Broberg, her case starts off in the 70s. And the person that was involved in taking her is by a man named Robert Berchtold. Now, he's a manipulative predator, known for abducting Jan Broberg twice during the 1970s. Now, the first time, hello, what am I doing? We're talking about cases that have ended on a happy note, where people have been found alive. That is what we're talking about today as a Mother's Day special. Let's see. So, the first one we're going to talk about is Jan Broberg. Like I said, she is one that has been talked about, and they have done many documentaries on. And hi, Tyrone. Michelle Gupta. Okay. All right, everybody. So let's get into this case. So Jan Broberg was taken by a man named, I'm sure they do, Ravishing Rick, uh, was taken by a man named Robert Berchtold. And Robert Berchtold was a manipulative predator that took her to Mexico the first time he kidnapped her. And he had her convinced she was 12 years old, and he had her convinced that she was special and that she was there to help procreate with him to continue this alien race. So that was the first time. Now, the second time, she was taken 2 years later, and that time he was picked up by the FBI and he was put in jail for 1 year. 1 year. So, not good. But this woman has gone on to be an author, an advocate, and why am I waiting? Wait, please. I'm waiting. What am I waiting for? Okay. So he is somebody who did do a little bit of time and later on was kept. Um, talk about the war in Pakistan and India. Just wait. I don't know enough about the war in Pakistan and India to really talk about it. But anyway, he abducted her She got back. She is alive, and she became an actress, an author, an advocate. So, but he, on the other hand, was found guilty and was about to be charged again with other crimes against children and took his own life. So that's what happened to him. But she has gone on to be married. She's gone on to have children of her own. So that is what we call a happy ending, because even though what happened to her was horrible, she survived. And that's the overarching point. Um, Another case we have is JC Duggar. And you all might remember this one, JC Dugard. She went missing in 1991. She was 11 years old. And she was one that was found almost 20 years later, living in a backyard of the person who took her, and she had had children with him. That was crazy. But she's another one that she did what she was told. She didn't fight back. Happy Mother's Day, everybody. And she survived. She survived. And that's another overarching point. So let's see here. What else do we have? I have a few other cases. So we also have Elizabeth Smart. Who all remembers Elizabeth Smart? This was a girl who was taken from Salt Lake City in 2002 and was found like 9 months later on a street. Hi, Jimmy. They tried to convince her to say a false name, but that's how they found her. She was alive, and she had been sexually assaulted and abused for 9 months. But she got out of it alive, and she is home. No, she did not run away with a boyfriend. She was taken by somebody who had done work for the family. He claimed himself to be a prophet, religious zealot, crazy dude. He's still in prison. But what's interesting is the woman that he was married to that helped with the abduction, she's out free. And they found her at a park with kids, and they've rearrested her. So let's see. Then we've got Jamie Kloss, found alive after missing for 138 days in 2019. And Jamie Kloss was abducted by a stepmother's boyfriend. I guess the overarching point I have of this is we have so many children missing in this country. There's so many cases. And after some point of time, people want to give up. They want to say, okay, they're not coming back. But look at JC Dugard. 18 years she was gone, and she was found alive. Baby Holly, she went missing for 3 years, an infant, eventually found alive and well, living with a pastor and his wife. It's easy to give up. It's harder to have hope. And that is the point I want to get across. It's easy, you need to have hope. Because if you have someone who's missing, if you have someone that a case where they have just disappeared, until it's proven that they're no longer coming back, you want to have hope that they are coming back. Right, even from foster homes, yeah, a lot of missing kids. So you have to believe that they're still out there somewhere until it's proven otherwise. You have to at least have that hope. That is the point I was trying to get across here. Hope. It's Mother's Day, and no mother wants to give up on their child. Nobody does. Like Summer Wells, still missing. They're trying to find her. Let's see. I get missing cases across my desk all the time, and it's sad. It's heart wrenching, and that's not just children. We can talk about adults that go missing, and they're ones you just don't want to give up. Why I have a picture of a bookshelf? Because I don't have space for a bookshelf in here. So, but if you know somebody who is missing someone, if you know someone who is missing, or if you hear about these cases, hold out hope that there will be an answer, that maybe even possibly they could be found alive. So just remember that. But that is all I have for today. My name is Rebecca. This is Red True Crime. Happy Mother's Day, all. And if you have someone missing out there, don't give up hope yet. Don't. Have a great day. Thank you.